Hello, and thank you for joining us on this week's segment of Create With Us. My name is Jaclyn, and I'm the Community Science and Outreach Coordinator for the Pacific Grove Museum of Natural History. Welcome to my kitchen craft table. So this week, we're going to be making paper flowers, but not just any paper flowers. We'll be making flowers that are native to California. Flowers like the California poppy, or the coastal aster, or even the Menzies Wallflower. So the materials that you're going to need for this craft are scissors, a ruler, a pencil, colorful construction paper. So for the flowers that we're making today, you're going to definitely need green, yellow, either a purple or a lavender, a pink or a red, and an orange. And for our hanging backdrop, you're going to need a paper bag, some paint, green paint if you have it, or you can use markers, paintbrushes, and glue. Are you ready to get started? All right, so the first thing that we're gonna make is our backdrop that we can use to put our flowers on and hang in our home. For this, all you're gonna need is a paper bag and some scissors. Also, something to decorate your background with. So I use green and white paint, or if you have markers, you can use markers. Now, take your paper bag and open it up, and we're actually going to cut just one side of our bag off so that we have our handle attached. Okay. Once you cut it, your backdrop is going to look like this. Okay, and you're going to actually use the handle to hang your artwork on the wall. All right. Once this is cut out, we want you to design or decorate your background. So I use green and white paint to make some grass that my flowers can be glued onto. Now, you can also paint a sun or clouds or even birds in the sky if you'd like. It is completely up to you however you would like to decorate your background. If you use paint, you can set this aside to dry while you're making your flowers. All right. Now, if you don't have paper bags in your home, another backdrop you can use is you can actually use a frozen pizza box and use the inside. For this, I just taped twine to it to create a handle to hang. Now, if you figure out a more creative way of doing this, please share. I'd love to see how you guys made your backdrops. So the first flower that we're going to make is the California Aster. And for these flowers, you're going to need green, yellow, and either a purple or a lavender or even a blue, light blue. You'll need scissors and you'll need glue. California asters are part of the sunflower family that are comprised of flowers with a lot of petals and a large central disc and long, narrow stems. The California aster resembles more of a daisy-like flower. However, their petals tend to be long and narrow and sometimes have space in between. But they have that similar characteristic as a narrow stem and a large central disc. The California aster is a really awesome flower that is found here along the coast in sandy and grassy areas. They grow in bush-like structures that can get up to 3 feet tall. The California aster is a perennial plant, meaning it can live for many years. In the winter, it goes dormant and loses most of its flowers and leaves. In the summer, it blooms, meaning you should be able to see this perennial plant around your neighborhood soon. Okay, so in order to make California aster for your backdrop, you're going to need long, narrow strips of green. So the California Aster has a long, narrow stem. These plants can grow up to 3 feet tall. So go ahead and cut out your green stem and glue it to your backdrop. Now, if you have popsicle sticks or bamboo skewers, you can actually make these flowers three-dimensional, and instead of gluing them to a backdrop, you can put them in a vase or in a jar. Okay, so you have a long, narrow stem. And you're going to cut out leaves that are long and narrow, have a little bit of a point, but still maintain an over or elongated shape. Now, all of the parts of our flowers that we're making today will be found in a template attached on our Museum to You webpage. So you can find all of these templates on our webpage. Okay. And you're going to glue your leaves on. Now I'm gluing my leaves only at the part where they touch the stem so that they can come off the page a little bit, giving your artwork a three-dimensional effect. Now while that dries, we're going to work on our petals, part of our flower. Now, like I said, the petals of the California Aster are narrow and long, but they can range in color. So today I'm going to use purple, but if you have lavender or indigo or even a light blue or a light yellow, any of those will work as well. So I made my strips of paper about 4 inches long, okay, and I cut them at various widths, but you want to make them as narrow as you can, okay? And just cut a bunch of strips because it's going to take a lot of strips of paper to create these petals. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to cut out a circle, a yellow circle for your disc or the central part of your flower. Now, if you watched Bree's video about her dissection of a flower, the disc is made up of both the stamen and the pistil. So the pistil is the female part of the plant and the stamen are the male parts of the plant. Now this disc actually has all of them. And if you look really, really, really closely at our sunflower, you can see both stamen and pistils on the central disc of the flower. Now, once you have all of that, all of your strips are cut out, we are going to start gluing our petals to our page. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to put glue here in the central that is the same size as your flower disc. And you're going to place strips of paper coming out from the center part. Now you can have as many or as little amount of petals as you'd like. Start folding your pieces of paper over towards the center, creating a little loop. Just like this. Now, it's important that you let your glue dry before you start folding over the petals like this. Otherwise, it makes it a little unstable and messy. Now, if you're using cardstock, this process is a little bit more difficult than using construction paper. And there you go. You have your California Aster. The next flower we're going to make is the California Poppy. The California Poppy is a really cool flower, and it's also the state flower of California. All you're going to need for this is green, yellow, and that beautiful bright orange that is so familiar when you see poppies. Now, the California Poppy flower has triangular bright orange petals, and there's only going to be 4 of them. So you can find the template below this video, but you're going to cut out 4 petals. Just like this. Now, unlike the Aster, the California Poppy does not have a central disc. Its stamen and pistils are raised in the center of the 4 petals. Okay? So in order to make the stamen and pistil central part of the flower, you're going to need a short strip of yellow paper that is cut into fringes. Okay? So orange for the petals, yellow for the center part. The stem of California poppies are long and narrow, and flowers tend to have more than one coming off of the stem, just like that. And their leaves are irregular and wiry looking. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to figure out where you would like your poppy to be on your backdrop. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your strip of paper, you're going to place glue, and you're going to roll it. And that is your central part of your flower. Now, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to glue your petals to the outside. Once your flower is dry, you can tease the inside yellow papers just a little so that they come apart. and it looks realistic. And you can glue your art. Now you can get the same effect with poppies by using 3 petals and keeping it a 2-dimensional look. So you're going to take 1 petal and you're going to paste it completely down on a stem. Then you're going to take a 2nd petal and offset it just slightly to one side. And we'll take a 3rd petal and offset it again. This will give you a 2-dimensional poppy. And don't forget to glue on your leaves. Just like that, you have your California Aster and California Poppy. The last flower we're going to be making today for our flower garden portrait is an extremely cool flower. This flower is both rare and endangered. The Menzies Wallflower. Now, the Menzies Wallflower may not be a flower that you've ever heard of. And that's probably because it's only found in 3 places in the entire world. All 3 are in California. Here in Monterey County, in Mendocino County, and in Humboldt County are the only places that you can find this flower. And within those counties, you can only find this flower along the coast near a dune system. Here in Monterey County, you can find this flower being protected in the Asilomar Dunes and the Marina Dunes. You might see little cages on the beach with a bright yellow flower inside. Well, yes, that's the Menzies Wallflower. This flower has been federally protected since 1992. Now, it's characterized with a short, stocky stem, ragged spoon-like leaves, and densely bunched yellow petaled flowers. Unlike the California Aster and the California Poppy, this flower doesn't get taller than 6 inches, and it has a lot of flowers to one stem. So, are you ready to try to make your own? Great. So go ahead and cut a 5-inch stem. Now, the petals for this flower are rounded teardrop shape. Okay? And each flower only has 4 petals. So go ahead and glue your petals The leaves are a raggedy spoon shape, and there's many of them that are closer to the ground. Thank you so much for joining me on this week's segment of Create With Us. I hope you really enjoyed making your own flower garden out of California native plants. So just take a look at my final product. I have a couple of California asters and some beautiful California poppies. Now I'm going to hang this in my kitchen to brighten up the space. And then for our Menzies Wallflower, I gave it its very own background and backdrop because these flowers are so rare and beautiful and exquisite that I wanted it to have its own backdrop all by itself. Now, I am really excited to see what everybody makes. Again, the templates for these flowers and petals and stems and leaves are going to be found on the new Museum to You webpage under this video. So feel free to print out the instructions and templates and then trace your petals and leaves on your beautiful construction paper. Thank you, and tune in next week for our next Create With Us